What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today we are playing with some new makeup products. I'm so excited to share this video with you. I have some new makeup products to test out. Well, it's not a full face. I just figured it would be fun to just throw them in a video anyway and talk about some newer products that have come out, some products that have been out for a while that are new to me. So I already have my foundation and cream contour on and my brows filled in. So the next thing that I want to do is concealer, and this is a new concealer for me and I am so excited to try it and I really hope I like it. It is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Hydrating Concealer. I've been into more sheer products lately, so this Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation has been my go-to. I want to say since like quarantine hit. I've been loving not having a full coverage. This is more of like a very light sheer coverage foundation. I still have some areas of redness peeking through, but I'm working on accepting that because I feel like it's fine and normal to have redness peek through. It shows that we're human, because before, I feel like a lot of us, especially those of us that do YouTube, fall into camera ready makeup all the time. And while that looks amazing on camera, it's really heavy for everyday life. And while I love a full beat in a full coverage moment, I've just been kind of taking and peeling it back this year. My main goal was to focus on complexion and improving that. But this is a concealer I have been using, the CoverGirl True Blend, and I like this. It's very reminiscent of Shape Tape, but it's not maybe quite as full coverage as Shape Tape, and it's not as drying and as heavy feeling as Shape Tape. So this is still a little too heavy coverage of what I'm looking for. I was looking for something a little more sheer to go with my sheer foundation. Maybe I can just put this on days I don't want to wear makeup and it doesn't look as dark and, you know, as obvious. So I'm really excited to try this out. Of course, this one is in the shade Light Ivory and the new one is in the shade Fair. So for the Clean Fresh concealer, they only had porcelain or fair. I ordered this off of Ulta's website, so I can only speak from that experience. They may have a broader shade range in the drugstore or on a different website or something like that, but Ulta just had porcelain and fair. And because I've been social distancing at the pool a little bit, so I have some color on me, so I figured I would go with fair, especially if I just want to do like a no makeup, just concealer and spot conceal, so it's not as stark. This is such a tiny little applicator and it doesn't look like a lot of product is on there, so this is what I'm used to, okay? Oh my god, the size difference. Okay, let's see how this is going to work. I'm mainly just applying this to my under eyes and onto my eyelid as a base for shadow. So it's definitely a more hydrating concealer. I can already tell by just putting it on. It's definitely more yellow toned than what I'm used to. And it might be a little bit dark. I noticed no difference. I was like wanting some coverage. So maybe I need to do a mix of the two for my everyday because I feel like I'll run through this super fast. It's definitely there. It blends out really nicely, and I was wanting it to like blend more into my skin tone so I didn't have like a super bright under eye. My under eye does look very, very hydrated right now. I'm definitely going to be setting this with a powder. Maybe, I don't know, I think I'm going to end up doing a combo of the two in the future, and I think I'll really end up liking that. I feel like for an actual eye brightening effect, for some minimal brightening, the porcelain shade probably would have been a better choice. But I think this will actually work really well if I just want to spot conceal and not mess with foundation. What is a lighter coverage concealer that you guys have been liking? I really love the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. I just can't bring myself to spending $30 on a concealer right now. Okay, I don't want to have too much product piled up, so I'm going to blend this out, set with powder, and then we can move on to the next product. This eyebrow always looks less defined in the inner part because I have a chicken pox scar there. Okay, so Yes, my final thoughts with the concealer is that I do feel like the shade Fair is too yellow for me. I feel like Porcelain would have been better. If I had a little bit more of a tan, that would probably help out. However, I think I'll end up liking it once I mix the two of those together. You can still see a slight sheen even though I set the area with powder. And then you can kind of see on my lid here, I did use the concealer. You can see the faint redness peeking through from that spot, so it is a lighter coverage, which is what I was looking for. And this concealer, it did retail for $11.99 on Ulta's website. So let's move on to the next thing. I do have a mascara at the end that I'm excited to try out. But before I move on to that, I'm going to use this double-ended concealer stick from Beauty Junkies. This is a newer product. I did feature some of their brow products in another video, but this is so pretty. I know that I'm going to be going for a more matte look, and I know I'm going to want some sparkle on my brow bone. So the shimmer stick just is so stunning and so beautiful. I like to put this on before my eyeshadow, but a lot of times I forget because it's not something I do every time I do my makeup. So it still blends out nicely once, you know, I already have eyeshadow on, but I just prefer getting it on there before and blending out the edges. And then for brow gel, I feel the need to talk about this again. This is the Beauty Junkies Clear Brow Gel. I love this formula. It actually keeps your brow hairs up in place. It is like the less intense version of soap brows, and I love soap brows, but sometimes I just don't have the patience to sit there and do it. So the comb is really big, but I'm still able to get it through my little coarse brow hairs, and I just barely, I don't want it touching my skin, so I'm just barely touching the hairs, grabbing it, and then I'm just rotating the wand to make sure all my hairs are coated, and I'm going to leave them sticking up for now, give them a minute to dry down, and then I can kind of like comb them back into place so we don't look like Jack Frost. I would like to know if there's a video of mine out there that exists where I like go the entire video without dropping something. I feel like if I notice that I don't drop something in the video, I need to go reward myself. Okay, so now I'm gonna let that dry. Another newer product that I have that was recently back in stock is a Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. I love the packaging. I normally keep it back over there on display, but I love this. I'm not a huge blush person, but this palette's like turning me more into a blush person. My favorite combos are either Twilight and Stargate or Pink Moon and Stargate, and I love using Sewell as a blush topper. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today I'm going to take mostly Stargate, and then I'm going to put Pink Moon on the actual apples of my cheeks. So what is new with you guys? What are you guys up to?
Guys, what is the 411? What has everybody been up to?
This whole year has been such a wild freaking journey, so I hope that we're all still doing stuff to take care of ourselves. For me, lately I've gotten back into playing The Sims. I play Sims 4. I love it. It's so fun. I will sit there some days though and play it for like 6 hours, and it's bad. But yeah, I've been getting back into playing The Sims. I go in and out with my creative ruts, but lately I've been inspired with my art. I do have an art page, Art by MakeupByMegB, if you would like to check it out. I have art for sale. I've been inspired to put out some fall creations, so I've been working on that, and that's been super exciting. And I feel like I have kind of run out of numbing reality TV to watch, and by that I mean I love watching trash TV, okay? I grew up with MTV. I still watch MTV and reality TV shows on MTV, and I have some things to say about that because I have been shamed quite a bit for it, and yeah, I definitely have some things to say. So that's basically the kind of reality TV that I normally watch, right? So I was asking around and everyone thinks that it's absolutely wild that I don't watch The Real Housewives of whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe it's time I finally start watching it, just because when I am playing The Sims or I'm working on an art project, I like to just have something on in the background that I can kind of pay attention to, but I don't need to focus all of my attention for it. I just like having something on in the background, or like even when I'm getting ready. So I started watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And if you are somebody that watches The Real Housewives and you dare shame someone for watching MTV reality TV shows, I have a problem with you, because I have been told, I can't believe you are 30 years old and you watch MTV. Like, you need to grow up out of it. But then you're sitting at home watching The Real Housewives, which is so unbelievably trashy and overly dramatic. It blows my mind. Like, I almost couldn't stand watching it because it was like too much for me. And the thing is like, I know I'm gonna sound ageist saying this, but it's like these women are almost 50 years old and they're screaming and throwing stuff and flipping tables and like trying to fight each other. But then you're gonna sit there and say that I'm trashy because I watch Floribama Shore? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I know it's ageist to say, but it's just like, I need to work on that. But it's just, for me, I'm just like, how can you sit there and say that I'm trashy for watching people in their 20s party and get drunk and have drama, and you're sitting at home watching people in their late 40s do the same thing? Anyway, that's my rant on that. Another thing that I have been working on is my Project Skull. I've been sitting here trying to prepare for Halloween. I'm gonna see how many I can do, but I want to have a bunch, like several variations of skulls this year up on my channel. So that will be coming in October. That's what I've been up to. What have you guys been up to? I am going to go over my lash curling because I am going to be using a mascara today. So this is the Shiseido, wait, no, this isn't Shiseido. This is Tweezerman eyelash curler. I've already curled my lashes once, and I like to curl them again before I put eyeshadow on, just so they're in place. And I will sit here and like squeeze it like 15 times. I just really like to make sure that my lashes are well curled because I feel like it helps hold longer throughout the day. I'm a side sleeper, so my lashes definitely tend to get on the wonky side. Okay. So now we can move on to eyeshadow, and again, I have to feature Beauty Junkies. I did get some eyeshadow sent to me in the mail, so thank you so much to them. If you guys want to check out their website, I do have a discount code. It is listed down below, along with my other discount codes, but they sent me this magnetic palette, which I have needed for years because I have so many single shadows I forget exist because they're just like sitting there and they're not in the palette. And it came with this really cool sticker, "You are beautiful," so I just stuck it on there. But this is a pretty heavy duty palette. It's really good quality. You do have a decent sized mirror. You're able to fold it back all the way so you can see my mishmash of eyeshadows, but they did send me these 6 right here, so this is what I'm playing with today. I definitely had to pick out cooler toned eyeshadows. You guys know me, this is like a shimmer taupe, and I'm so excited to play with it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with this look. I think I'm gonna end up using pretty much all of the shadows. This is the shade Oh Dear. I'm gonna stick it into my crease. I just like clean all my brushes so I feel discombobulated. There is a lot of powder, so it's loosely packed, so that just means make sure you're tapping your brush off so you don't get a lot of fallout. Let's see you guys in. So yes, back to my Real Housewives rant, is just like, if you're watching reality TV, like, don't, like, why would you shame other people for watching it? I get made fun of for watching the Kardashians, for watching pretty much all the shows on MTV, but I will have to always argue that the challenge is actually like really good. I love the challenge. But then it's like the people that are saying this to me are people that watch the Real Housewives, and I'm like, you're also watching like trashy reality TV, so what does it matter if you're watching the Housewives versus the Kardashians versus I don't know, Jersey Shore. Like, what's really the difference? Because I started way back at the beginning, season 1 I think was filmed in like 2009 of New Jersey Housewives, and I thought it was hilarious because apparently, you know, I remember the mayor saying like Jersey Shore is a disgrace and it's an embarrassment to New Jersey, but then apparently he said like the Real Housewives was like classy and he loved that, like the mayor loved that show. And I was just confused. I'm like, those kids are in their 20s, they're partying out. Like, how do you think people actually act at the Jersey Shore? But yeah, I'm like, these women, like, yeah, they're not getting shit-faced every night, but they're still acting pretty dramatic. So I just thought it was interesting how the mayor said that he loved the Housewives but hated Jersey Shore. I don't know. I guess I can kind of see that though, because the Jersey Shore can encourage like the bad behavior and people coming and like trashing the shore. So I guess I can see that, but I just thought it was an interesting take. I just stuck my nail in an eyeshadow. Okay, so this is the Nude Peach eyeshadow. I love this. It's pretty similar to my damn skin tone. So I am just going to make sure I tap off my brush. I'm using the same brush. This is a Morphe M433. And then again, it's pretty powdery. So I'm gonna tap that off, and then I'm gonna use this to blend out those edges. And I'm also gonna get this pretty close to my actual eyebrow. And I do like blending out to here, just because it adds some more definition. So what are some shows that you guys have discovered during quarantine? I was also thinking of checking out Love Island. So I just love reality TV shows because I don't have to think about it. I don't have to pay attention to what's happening. It can just be there and I don't have to worry about it. So far, I think these shadows are blending out pretty nicely. So now I'm gonna go in with Grizzly. So this is still on the cool tone side. It's a little, no, it's still pretty cool tone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this to darken things up and add some more definition. I'm gonna switch over to a Morphe 506, which is a smaller brush, allowing me to get more into the crease without blending it on top of the shadows that I already have. So I can stick it more down there versus up here. Is anyone watching? Did you guys order Nikki's palette with Beauty Bay? Like, I ordered it yesterday because that's when it launched at the time of filming. And I was surprised that it was a little, like, some people were pissed, which I get, but for me, I always order everything on my laptop. It's just what I prefer to do. So when I signed up for the early access, I just left the page open that had like her palette on it, just because I figured it'd be easier because, you know, I think if you've ever participated in any kind of makeup launch in the last 2 years, you know things get pretty intense. So I was like, let me just have this up and ready so I can check out and be in and out, hopefully faster. So I had left the page open. And I was waiting for the early access code because they didn't give a time for that to come out, which is smart. So like traffic doesn't get as congested on their website. But I saw some people on Twitter because I was like, okay, they have to be sending it out soon because the general launch is going to start shortly. Some people said that they were able to get their palette and that they were just refreshing the page and it gave them an add to cart option. So I was like, huh. So I started doing that and I got that option. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get this palette and get the hell out of here. So I was able to snag the palette. Checkout was so easy. It took seconds. And then my access codes were emailed to me, but they were emailed to me like 10 minutes before the general sale. So I just felt like happy and lucky that I was able to kind of cheat the system in a way and get my palette, because I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to bed because it was like 7 o'clock in the morning for me. So I was like, I don't have to stress and worry about this anymore. I can chill. And like an hour after I ordered, my palette shipped. So that was like the smoothest makeup launch I think I've ever participated in the last couple of years. So congratulations to Nikki and Beauty Bay on your success. I can't wait for the palette to come in. I'm going to do an eye swatch video and a lot of tutorials. I'm excited to incorporate it into my skull looks that I'm going to do. So yeah, if you got it, let me know in the comments down below. So this is iced lace, and I love this. It is like a gorgeous taupe shimmer. And in my opinion, shimmers always apply best with your finger, and then you can kind of go in and touch up with a brush. You just get more pigment, and it's more bam with your finger than you do a brush. So now what I'm going to do to just, you know, make sure it's nice and blended into the matte shadows, I just take my brush and just lightly and loosely do some circles in the outer corner. So you can see that shimmer is just so beautiful to me. So again, I'm gonna tap off this brush really well, and I'm going to go into the highlight shade, and this is Beams of Light. It's a white pearlescent shimmer. And I don't want it to be super intense, so that's why I'm grabbing it with this brush. It almost has like a pink reflect into it. It's really pretty. So it's like a more subtle version of the white shimmer that's in the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. So the only shadow I didn't use today was Love Affair, and this is just like a really pretty pinky mauve shade. So I will have to use that in a future video. And like I said, if you're interested in checking out their products, I will have a link down below. I believe it's 20% off with my discount code. You can build your own palette. They have so many products on their website. So I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly do my lower lash line. But before I get to that, now that my brows have had a chance to set in place, I'm just taking my spoolie and making sure that they're not just sticking super straight up. With my lower lash line, I like to work darkest to lightest. So I'm just taking that darkest shadow, Grizzly, and then I'm going to go in with Oh Dear and blend it. I don't want this to be super smoked out, so I'm holding my brush perpendicular. So that's also gonna help smudge the Grizzly color. And then just for a little bit more, to diffuse it a little bit more, I'm going in with the Nude Peach shade on the 506 brush. And again, I'm holding the brush upward so I don't blend it down too low, and it's just gonna give that final airbrushed, diffused look to the lower lash line. Okay, so here is the finished eye look. I'm really happy with how these shadows performed. I thought they performed very nicely. So here you can kind of see a little bit of the fallout. So they're just powdery, so just make sure you're tapping off your brush and you won't have fallout. I didn't have any issues with fallout, and it looks like the eyeshadows are originally $6, but they're on sale for $3, so be sure to check it out and don't forget to use my code. So lastly, we're going to get to mascara. So for mascara, I'm doing a third and final crimp of my lashes, just to make sure I have them how I want them. And then it looks a little patchy over here, but it's just like that little dot. I don't know if it's a zit, like a clogged pore, or like an ingrown hair. This is the new Urban Decay Lash Freak Mascara. I was curious about this. It looks like it's going to be like really thick lashes. So like I said, I'm curious to see how this turns out. This little sample was like $10 from Ulta, and I was like, I figure I might as well get the sample and see if I like it instead of buying the full one. So this is the wand. It is so peculiar to me. So here, let's see if my camera will focus. You can see on the backside where it's green, there's like little spikes at the top. So it's like rounded, and then it's like shaped like that. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work. And it looks like there's a lot of mascara down the middle. So you can see that shiny stuff. It's all mascara in the middle. I don't know how, let's see. So this is described as Urban Decay's Lash Freak Volumizing and Lengthening Mascara is an intensely volumizing mascara with an asymmetrical brush that lengthens and lifts lashes for a dramatic wide-eye look. This ultra-pigmented, flake-proof mascara creates 23.6 times more volume and 40% more visible length for the boldest of lashes. The asymmetrical brush was designed to load every lash with the max amount of formula for extreme volume and definition. The tip defines and separates even the tiniest of individual lashes, while the curved side adds a lift at the lash root. This intensely black longwear formula lasts up to 20 hours and is smudge and sweat proof. It's also cruelty-free and gluten. Wow. The mascara is also gluten and cruelty-free. Okay, so according to the pictorial, it looks like, this is still so much. I'm kind of scraping a little bit off. It looks like you want to have this curved end and we want to lift and separate our lashes and then use the ball tipped end to define. And then it looks like you can also back comb to lift. So let's see how this works. I feel like we need to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so I am just, I'm gonna get my loose lash out. So what I like to do is hold my mirror down here, tilt my head back, and kind of like hold my eye open like this, because I do like getting to the root of the, okay, that's a lot, to the root of the lash. Oh my God, this is so much mascara that's coming off. I can already tell this is a mascara that I will like better and that will perform better for me once it dries out a little bit, because it's a little wet right now. I don't typically like mascara straight out of the tube, honestly. Like even my go-to Holy Grail mascaras, it's like too much heaviness. So once I get a couple uses out of it, then it's really good. So now I'm using the edge to get the outer lashes, and I actually feel like this is doing a good job of combing through. So now what I like to do is just again do that twirl motion. So I start at the root and then just twirl my way through. Now I'm just kind of going through and trying to thicken up the tip of my lash. Scraping off that extra product definitely helped because I feel like I'm not making a mess with it. Okay, I am actually really liking this. I can see myself building this up to 2 coats once it dries out a little bit. So here is the before and after. And one thing that attracted me to it was the shape of the brush. This is the Maybelline The Falsies Push Up Angel Mascara. I absolutely love this mascara one because it is like a comb, and that's exactly what I do. I go in with this one first and I comb and lift my lashes. And then for volume, I go in with the Maybelline Colosso Big Shot Mascara, and that's what I use on my upper lashes. And my thought, because like drugstore mascaras work great, and for me it's about the brush, not so much the formula. Unless the formula is super flaky, then it's just like not good. And I don't really like the fiber mascaras either. But for me, I'm like, the cost of these 2 mascaras equates to the cost of one higher end mascara. So if I like this one with what it does, I'm paying the same price. So I'll see over time if I feel like this one can replace it, but I feel like normally you need like at least 2 different mascaras to get the effect that you're looking for. And then for my lower lash line, I'm not even going to try that on the lower lash line. I just feel like it'll be messy. I love my MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. So I'm going to finish up the other eye and then be back to show you what the results look like. Okay, I am back. I just finished off the rest of my makeup, and I will have to say that I think I get a pretty similar effect using the one Urban Decay mascara that I do using the 2 Maybelline mascaras. So if you're somebody that likes either of those mascaras, this could be something you want to check out. But the one thing I will say is that you absolutely need to scrape the wand off because there's just so much that clings to it. But I found it really easy to work with, and I went ahead and added a second coat, and I was able to brush through my lashes like they weren't like, you know, sometimes when you go through a second coat after the lashes have dried, it's like crusty and like the brush doesn't want to go through. I had no problem applying a second coat after the first coat dried. So it's been such a long time since I've had a higher end mascara, so I really enjoyed using that. Let's go ahead and go back through the products that I used. So the CoverGirl Concealer. I do feel like it's a little bit darkening and yellow on my under eyes because I am so fair. I probably should have gotten the shade Porcelain, but I think if I mix the two together and do a little cocktail and put some of this down first with this on top of it, I think I'll get more of that smoother, less heavy coverage that I was looking for with the consistency of the product, with it still being dewy, and then I'll still have a little bit of the brightening effect from this one. So I'm interested to do my makeup routine where I put the concealer down first to see how it looks that way, because that could be another way to help blend it in better. Normally I like to lay my concealer down first and then go on top of it with foundation and blend it out that way. So that could be another option, but I think I'll end up getting along with that. I'll keep you guys updated. The blush palette by Lunar Beauty, I absolutely love. I think it's stunning and beautiful. It's washing out a little bit on camera. It's a little bit more noticeable and pigmented in person as I'm looking at my mirror than what is showing on camera. As far as the eyeshadow goes, it blended out so nicely. It was easy to work with. I didn't have to sit there and keep layering eyeshadow on. I wasn't also sitting here blending forever. So I think their eyeshadow is pretty good quality, especially right now if it's 50% off for $3 a pan. I would definitely check that out. So again, link for that will be down below. Was that about everything? Because I think the main things was the concealer, the mascara, and the eyeshadows. So yeah, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hang out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.